Joe, offensive line, they give, I think, quite a few pressures, and you all know how good Saints defense is. Are y'all doing anything in particular to address that, or will there be any changes on the offensive line, any switches at all?
Yeah, no, we talked as a staff, as a unit. We obviously hold ourselves to a higher standard than the performance we played on Sunday, and so from an offensive line standpoint, we just the pressures on the quarterback, the hits on the quarterback. We obviously take that personal, and so that was obviously a point of emphasis, and we know that this week New Orleans, they pride themselves on getting to the quarterback and playing with energy, and it's obviously another key to victory is we obviously have to be ready for that pass rush, and I know that our guys are up for that.
So there won't be any changes to the lineup?
We're going into it with the mindset that we're still working through everything, and the best 5 players are being the ones that are going to play, and so we'll see where things are on Sunday.
How's John Miller looked in conditioning and coming back?
Yeah, I think John's always a guy that he's always he's one of those guys that he's kind of always in shape and always ready to go. So obviously if his numbers called upon this week, I'm sure he'll be ready to go.
Does Tommy Trimble have a big impact with what you guys can do to help maybe some of those offensive line issues that you guys had, just the way his ability to block?
Yeah, no, I think Tommy has the tight ends. I think they all, like I've been saying all along, they all bring a unique characteristic to this offense, and I think that those are all guys that we got to continue to get involved. Find ways to move him around and help, and I know that'll all impact the run game, impact protections.
How's he developing as a receiver?
Tommy's he's been coming to work. He's a first year player that there's going to be bumps and bruises, but a guy that's kind of comes to work every single day, and he stays late. You come down here yesterday and you got the Colin Thompsons of the world that are kind of helping take him under the wing and show him the ways, and so he's a guy that he's going to continue to get better as the year goes on.
Joe, is there anyone you might look to try to get more involved down the scoring zone?
It's no one like in particular, nothing worth throwing out there, but no, we have to do a better job of executing down there. And that starts with myself, obviously, and we got to make the plays that are thrown. We got to throw and catch, and we have to do a better job of just executing down there. I don't think it's anything that's a huge like what happened there. It's more of just pitching and catching and getting on their blocks and getting into the end zone.
Dan's such a big target. Can he be a weapon down in that area?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the acquisitions that we made this offseason, I think were all to help us situationally and whatnot, and obviously drafting Terrace Marshall, bringing Dan, Tommy, with it in addition to Ian and the running backs. I think those are all with the intent of helping us situationally, and Dan's big body is definitely something that we can utilize down there.
The red zone has been a continued point of emphasis. And I'm just curious here, is it repetition in practice? Is it tape? Like, how specifically is that something that you can work on in order to improve?
Well, I think it's something that you're going to come out of every single game regardless, and there's going to be things where you got to improve on third down, run game, red zone. You turn on the tape, this past game, and obviously we're a production business, so no matter what, when you fumble the ball in the red zone on a fourth and one, you don't get it and you fumble it, you walk off the field, it feels bad. You had a couple opportunities. You think of the seam route to Ian Thomas, you completed, you're feeling a lot better about yourself with those things. So you had opportunities down there, but if you're not executing it, then we have to continue to harp upon it. And it's not an issue of not practicing it or anything like that. We just gotta everyone just gotta kind of do their job and just play within the system. And I think good things will happen.
Christian was the #1 receiver. Is that something that's just Robbie going through his reads and maybe having to check down more? Because he said that he would like to, air it out a little more. But can we talk about that?
Well, I think a lot of that, has to do too. You're playing, when you play, Coach Salah's defense. You play a little, the Seattle Seahawk type, single high zone. It's a big. They do a great job of looking up the, the over routes and whatnot. Well, it does open up, check downs, and so, a lot of Christian's balls this past week, intentional in the game planning process of, hey, if they're going to take it over top, check the ball down underneath, for the underneath throw. So some of those completions aren't sitting there saying, hey, they're called with the design to check it down to them. It's just a good job by Sam not forcing it them looking it up and him checking it down. You saw in the 2-minute drive, same thing, throw for 4 verticals, they take the top, and you see Sam kind of check it down to Christian. So, some of them, they're obviously called to him, and some of them are, hey, if they take the top off, let's just take it down, and good things are going to happen, as it did the other day.
What plays did Sam make that most impressed you, and what plays did he make that bothered you or worried you?
I thought the way that the way that he came out and just executed, I felt like he was never, the emotions never got to him. He was just very like exactly kind of how we thought we were, and he was great on the sidelines with it. You watch the obviously the touchdown to Robbie, seeing his pocket movement, and it was, I think, incredible with that. Obviously, we all talk about Christian. He made an incredible block on that, and that's a big reason why we scored a touchdown. But Sam's pocket movement in there was great. You watch the corner route that he threw to DJ on the sideline. With people in the paint, with body on him, and still be able to put the ball and drop it on there. So, he made some throws, this past week that, they're definitely some wow throws. And then obviously, anytime you got opportunities to complete balls in the red zone, you get you get one to Terrace, you get the one to Ian. Those are ones that he'll be the first to say he wants those back and take advantage of it.
Coach, you kind of had a similar, arsenal of weaponry when you were with the Saints, as you had, Michael Thomas, but you also had an Alvin Kamara. How, instrumental did that experience, how helpful was that experience coming to the Panthers where you have a Christian McCaffrey, you have a DJ Moore, so it's kind of like a similar scenario.
Yeah, I mean, they're just my experience in New Orleans, you got an opportunity to learn from Coach Payton and just seeing how he utilizes his personnel groupings and his personnel to his advantage. So regardless of not comparing Christian and Alvin or Mike and any of our wide receivers, just being around them and just seeing how they utilize their personnel. So I was definitely fortunate of it to come here and then see, hey, let's figure out how we can utilize Christian, how we can utilize Ian Thomas, those type of things. And so definitely instrumental in my career.
In talking about personnel groupings, early on in particular, it seemed like you were running a lot of different sets in and out. Is that something that kind of narrows itself down over the course of the season, or do you want to show as many as possible?
Well, I think when you turn on the tape, you're obviously trying to not just be reactive and sit there and say, hey, what does the defense do? You're trying to put stuff on tape, and you're trying to utilize your personnel in different ways. So whether you have a bunch of different groupings of 12 personnel with the tight ends we have, different wide receivers, just trying to find their strengths and help utilize that to our advantage. Where at least when they're game planning, they have to look at it from different perspectives, whether they do or whether they don't. And so to me, it's more of not just doing it just to do it for them, but also because we feel like it puts us in the best position to have success. So we're not just trying to just switch personnel groupings every play or doing that stuff just to say we do it. We feel like it's putting ourselves, it's putting our guys in position to have success, and so that's the main reason for it.
So we asked Sam a lot last week, about the Jets matchup. You're playing the Saints, facing the Saints. How much fun are these matchups for you? I mean, last year we saw you put in a Tommy Stevens package in Week 17. I mean, these kind of cool for you to kind of match wits with Sean?
And honestly, and I know it's cliche, but it's no different to me. I'm not going against Sean Payton. I'm going against Dennis Allen. Our guys are going against the defense. And so to me, I kind of approach every single game the exact same, regardless if it's the New York Jets, regardless of it's the New Orleans Saints. It's another opportunity for us to go 1-0. And if we think about who we're going against, or we think about if I'm sitting there saying, hey, I'm going against the Saints because I was there, then I'm making it bigger than it really needs to be. And I think Sam was a perfect example of last week of going against another team and not approaching it any differently. And so, I try to pride myself on week to week. It's in the exact same mindset.
What makes the Saints defense as effective as it's been the past 2 years?
I'm sorry.
Why is the Saints defense as effective as it is? Why has it been as effective as it is the past 2 years?
Well, I think it obviously starts at the top with DA. I think he's one of the best defense coordinators in the game, and I think he does a great job of utilizing his personnel groupings, his personnel, and in the similar regard to what we were saying offensively. And I think they play with great energy. They play with passion. I think they fly around the football field, and so anytime that you see the effort, you see energy on the football field, and the guys, they do their job. They're, I think when you watch them on tape from a defensive standpoint, they're all about execution. So when you see people doing their assignments and flying around, obviously it speaks to the players, it speaks to the coaching, and so there's a reason why statistically they've been where they are in the last few years.
Take a couple more. Joe, I know you don't do the game plan based just in one player, but how you prepare the passing situations with a guy like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson that kind of line up at multiple roles?
Yeah. Look, I know it's oftentimes, I'm a huge fan of 22. Like, I think I love his style of play. I love how he plays. I know he talks and gets chippy, but he flies around. I think he plays the way that football's supposed to be played. And so, he's an extreme asset to their defense because he can cover, he can rush the passer. He's not afraid to get physical with it. And so, he's a guy that, you have to know where he is at every single play. And so whether it's the pass game or the run game, you always got to know where 22 is. And I think it's a credit to him.
What else stands out about this defense to you as you prepare tape?
Well, I think, the number one thing is obviously Cam Jordan. He's for year in and year out, he's a guy that, is a complete tight end, complete defensive end. He plays against the run and the pass, equally. He's not one of those guys that's just rushing the passer. And so, it all starts up front with their defense, and then they all kind of fall off of that.
What's your plan to keep Christian rested during the week? So he gets any touches during the game?
I'm sorry, can you?
What's your plan to give Christian rest during the week, and how much you use him during the week of practice, since he plays such a big heavy load at Sundays?
Yeah, we have a great sports science staff here that they do a great job at factoring player load and time on their feet and all that stuff. And so that's something that we obviously all take into consideration, that they relay to us on reps and what guys need. And so that makes those are the easy things that I don't have to always make those decisions. That the sports science people you do a great job at that.
All right, thank you.
Good, thank you guys, appreciate you.